Hi, Derek Johnson with Tatango.com here. I'm here at Innovista Law, home of the TCPA Defense Force. And I'm speaking with attorney Ernesto Mendieta. And recently, we filed I don't even know what the technical term is.
Comments.
Okay, we filed comments to the FCC. And basically, our concern with the TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, is it leaves a lot of room for misinterpretations, I guess you could say,
Yes.
regarding reassigned phone numbers. So a reassigned phone number, or even a deactivated phone number, is when someone has a phone number, let's say this phone right here, and then it gets deactivated, and then it gets reassigned to someone brand new. Now in text message marketing, that causes problems because this phone number opted in to brand A's text messages. Now, if the phone number gets deactivated and then gets reassigned to another consumer, and we don't have that information here at Tatango, that happened, then the new consumer is technically opted in, and they're not really opted in, that's the problem. They're going to start receiving text messages from that brand. So the FCC came out and they said, we want people to kind of comment on this.
Yes, as the thing stands, there's two issues I see with the reassigned numbers. One is companies that actually got the consent of a consumer to get certain information cannot contact that consumer because he changed for the telephone company he uses.
Okay, so like ported phone number, like you go from AT&T to T-Mobile, and if AT&T or T-Mobile doesn't tell us, we're not going to be able to message that person anymore.
You can be ported, which implies that you're going to keep the same number,
Yep.
but you can also just change. You don't want to have the same number for any reason.
Yep.
You move cities and you want to have a local number.
Yep.
So you change completely. And the company that you actually gave your consent and want you as a consumer want that company to contact you won't be able to reach you with that consent that he already
Correct,
gave.
because you're opting in on one phone number, essentially deactivating it, and then moving yourself as a person to a new phone number.
Yes.
So a lot of issues, because if the carriers don't tell us this information, then we're kind of sitting back here not knowing what to do.
Yeah, and that's an issue not related with the TCPA, but it's a business issue because you have a consumer that you can no longer contact.
Yep, and they want to be contacted because they opted in.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for the other side, we have the TCPA issue. That is, you have this number in your list of opt-ins.
Mm-hmm.
You're so like, I'm going to call him. You call him, and the TCPA doesn't care about the actual number. They care about the person. So if the person is someone that didn't give its consent, even if it's one of the numbers that you previously had the consent,
Yep.
you will be in breach of the TCPA.
Okay, so, and let me just get this correct. If, let's say 12345 is somebody's phone number, if 12345 opts in to receive text messages from a large brand, but then for some reason that person doesn't want the phone number 12345 anymore, and a new customer, let's say you pick up that phone number and you say you want that phone number and you activate it, if I, as a brand, text message, continue to text message the phone number that opted in, the phone number texted in and said yes and double opt in, follows all the rules and we're an amazing company, like it all works and it's all compliant, the minute I start text messaging the new person on the same phone number, that's a violation.
Yes, correct. Let's say the company is contacting Derek, their consumer. You have the 12345 number. For some reason, you decided not to continue with that number. You gave it away. So next day, I go to this mobile provider and I want a new number. They recycle that number and they will give me the 12345. We have all experienced that someone calls to the same number and is asking for some other person.
The old person's number.
Yeah,
okay.
If it's a company, I'm going to say like, hey, now I have the right to go and sue them under the TCPA because they're calling me, Ernesto, that I never gave my consent, even if in their list they have the consent for 12345.
Interesting. And I know some of the carriers do give this information to providers like Tatango. It is a little confusing the way they do give the information. It's not as clear as we just explained it, like whether it's deactivated, reassigned, ported, all those different things. But then there are carriers that don't give out this information. So that causes a huge issue because the carriers that are giving the info, maybe it just needs to be a little more clear. Isn't that what we're stating in the information request?
Yes, the FCC recognized these issues in general with reassigned numbers, understood that there are certain data aggregators that have the reassigned numbers, but not all of them. So companies that are trying to comply cannot be certain that they are by just checking these incomplete databases. So the FCC came with a notice of inquiry saying, like, asking the industry to what's the best way that we can deal with the reassigned numbers issue. Should we make it an obligation for every carrier to report what numbers have been deactivated and then reassign and activate it to a new person? Should we make just wireless carriers report that information? Who should have that database? How can companies like Tatango
Get access to
that? So these are the type of comments that the FCC is gathering from the industry, so they can eventually come out with a rule or an obligation of how to deal with it.
Interesting. Okay, because the FCC is eventually, at the end of the day, they're looking out for the consumer's best interests, right? And as we just shown, it's not the best interest if you move to a new wireless carrier and you stop getting all your text messages that you opted in for, or it's definitely not in your best interest if you receive the person that used to own the phone, you receive their messages.
Yes. It helps, these regulations or whatever it ends up being by the FCC will help both companies and consumers. It will help consumers remain in contact with the companies that they want to hear from, and it will help companies avoid contacting someone that could sue them under the TCPA.
Okay, so we filed, and what's the technical term?
Comments.
Okay, so that's
the
easy.
FCC gets out and says, like, I have this issue, I have these options of how to resolve it, and Tatango, as a member of the leader of the industry, goes and provides its comments.
So we're just providing our opinion, our feedback, so they can produce maybe better rules or more specific that would help both consumers. Because I'm guessing we're kind of looking out for ourselves over here and the brands, and then FCC is looking out for consumers, so they got to piece all the information together.
Yes, the FCC in the process is going to receive opinions from all over the industry, consumers, companies, and they will balance which ones make more sense, which ones are better supported, and that will facilitate their process of decision making.
Now, what about timeline? I know we've submitted this. How long will it be until there's like a definitive black and white thing, or is that never going to happen? Like, what's the process here?
I would like to tell you specific dates. What we have right now, it's the first round of comments is the end of August 2017.
Okay.
Then the FCC will make available to everyone all the comments that they receive.
Oh, so they'll publish those publicly?
Yes.
Okay.
They publish them, they make them available in the FCC website. Okay. So you go and you have the ability to make reply comments.
Oh, interesting.
If you made certain comments and then you see that a consumer group was making certain assumptions that are not actually accurate on how companies like Tatango work, you can go ahead and say, this association thinks like software, text messages companies do this. That's not true because my practice corresponds like this. So the FCC gives the opportunity to give comments, but also to reply to other people's comments.
Okay, and how long of a period is that, or is it kind of open-ended?
That's an additional month, so we're seeing that reply comments will be submitted by the end of September 2017. But after that, there's no clear deadline.
So then it's kind of, the FCC will figure it out and get back to us.
Yeah, they will have to sit down, study all the comments that they received.
Will it be a lot of comments? Like, how many comments do you think this kind of thing would generate?
Yes, I would think it's hard to guess.
I know, are you betting, man?
it's an important issue. It's a big concern.
It's a huge issue for everybody.
At least the companies that are involved, I'm assuming they will be submitting comments. So we can expect a large volume.
So like you think in the hundreds or thousands?
In the hundreds.
Oh, really? Yes. Wow. So that's going to be a lot of comments and then a lot of comments on those comments. Right. So it's going to be a lot of work.
Yes.
So
yes, and normally the FCC, when they open up to comments, and it's a very, very important issue, but it becomes so specific and technical, like reassigned numbers under the TCPA, it doesn't attract like the general consumer individual comments.
Okay.
It's normally associations,
so
companies.
Not like regular people are being like, oh, I'd like it this way. That most likely that's not going to happen. It's going to be, because this really is evolving, like involving software, the carriers, the brands, and we're trying to make it good for the consumer.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, interesting stuff. So we'll be filing that in conjunction, I guess, with you guys. And we'll keep everybody posted here at Tatango on how that goes, and when the comments for, I guess, everybody out there to comment on what we've commented on.
Yes.
A lot of comments going around here. So again, Derek Johnson with Tatango.com here at Innovista Law, home of the TCPA Defense Force. Thanks for watching our video today. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube. If you want to see more of these types of videos, be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have comments or questions, please leave a comment or question in the comment section below.